All right, hello. Welcome back to Dissonant
Hello.
Waves. Everyone saying hello?
Hi. Hi.
That's Ritz saying hello back from the sickness.
I can't remember the Down for the Sickness lyrics.
Trix is also there.
You get the sickness. That's about it. That's about all I know. I was never really into Disturbed. Not gonna lie.
I wasn't either.
I don't think I missed out on much. Really only heard the Guitar Hero songs. Thanks, Robot.
You sound a little bit robotic there.
Good butt. Beep boop. Beep 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 beep.
Oh boy.
Beep. Alright, well, what's Trix,
She said she was good, and then we pressed the button, and then she wasn't good. But
well, I mean, I'm still good. Can you hear me? All right.
that's better. That's better.
I think I might have just gone into a low signal area.
You were very, very beep beep beep.
Anyway, this is a momentous occasion. We've reached episode 50, which
The beep boops could have been such the best segue though.
sure, we're also listening to Daft Punk's Discovery this week and watching Interstella 5555. But it is episode 50 of our show. Technically episode 70 if you count the minisodes, which is still astounding. We've been at this for quite a while now. But beep 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 boop, let's talk about Daft Punk.
Look, Discovery's probably one of the most important albums when it comes to house music just ever existed.
Yes.
I think so much has been influenced by it, full stop.
I think
Obviously,
culture
Daft Punk
beyond house has been influenced by Discovery. But go on.
Daft Punk has obviously pretty much had nothing left to prove after that. They were already at their peak, and then they just kept doing stuff. They ended up producing quite a lot of work since then. Obviously, Random Access Memories came out 8 years ago, and then 3 years after that, they got their first #1 in the US with The Weeknd.
Starboy's a good song.
It's weird because Discovery wasn't actually big in US when it came out, I believe.
Not like it was elsewhere.
No, it wasn't even too big in Australia. It was big, but it wasn't as big as it is now.
Word.
Yeah, I mean, like, the music videos were on Toonami, I read, and that's, like, the weird thing of how, like, Interstella 5555 was, like, music videos that then got daisy-chained together into, like, a whole feature as they developed it more and more.
I'm very glad that our country did that. Yeah, well, it's weird going back to old Hottest 100s and seeing how Daft Punk charted, and then looking at the old times that happened after that, even before Random Access Memories, because I think Daft Punk was the highest charting of Homework, and it came like 97. And then Discovery only had one more time chart at like the 50s. And then there was an old time in a past 20 years, just before Random Access Memories came out, and they dominated those.
I feel like
they just grew with time over here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like Daft Punk was definitely like a generational thing of like, it's mainly like a millennial thing. I feel like of, yeah, if you were like a Gen X that was like young enough in the 90s, you might have gotten into Homework.
Here I disagree. My parents are both massively into Daft Punk as well.
Really?
Yeah, my dad got me into them.
I mean, my parents are not like that at all, so I kind of had to find all this stuff on my own.
Yeah, same here.
And like my friends talked about like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger on their own time, like in like the mid 2000s, and that was as much as I knew for quite a while.
I mean, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger is to me, it's a good song, but it's always been one of the weakest of Discovery, just because, like, just comparingly.
See, I would argue.
There's been so much good off this album. It's not, even when it's weak, it's still fantastic.
I would argue that for One More Time.
Nah, One More Time is so fucking fantastic.
I don't think One More Time would even rank in my top 5 songs from this album.
That's a hot take.
I'd put Too Long above it even.
Nah, you can't do this. You can't do this.
I mean, I really like this album. I think it's the best one we've listened to in 2021. by far. But I never got the appeal of One More Time. Like, I like it a lot more that I've listened to it a few times more. But it's like it's kind of around the world again, which is kind of the point.
Yeah. Around the World is fantastic as well. The Daft Punk was just fully fantastic for their whole discography, really. Yeah, you could probably argue Human After All was a bit of a step down comparatively.
Oh, but it's such a good song, though.
But the period at the start of their career will always just be my favorite period, like era of them. One of my favorite just songs from the 90s, straight up, is "Music Sounds Better with You," which was the side project of Thomas. I can't say his last name.
Bangalore.
Is that the Stardust thing?
That's totally it. Yeah, Stardust, which only had one song, and it was a banger.
And they just said, "Never mind."
Yeah, it's weird. It was planned to be so much more, and it became just one song, and one fucking fantastic song. And if you've never seen the music video for that song, just anybody who hasn't seen it, watch it now. It's very Daft Punky, actually, for a music video. And the whole concept is this kid builds this model plane. He keeps watching the the top 5 songs of the week or the day or something, and Stardust keeps climbing the charts on that. And their music video that's shown for what Music Sounds Better with You is supposed to be, it's just the band playing on a cloud. And his parents are just constantly fighting in the background, and you can actually sometimes overhear him in it. It's fucking funny. And at the end, the kid just throws a plane, and it gets stuck on the cloud that Stardust is on.
That's somewhat similar to Interstella 5555, which I think is really funny. Because the whole part of the plot is that One More Time keeps climbing the charts on Earth until finally it hits number 1.
Yeah.
But I will say what do you say?
Yeah, I can wait 5 seconds. You can.
I was just saying my intro into Discovery for real was when I was huge into Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. There was a huge wave of fan videos. Phoenix Wrongs were the title of a lot of them, and one video has set a whole section to Face to Face, which first time I heard it, I loved it. Face to Face is such a great fucking song. And then I looked it up, it's oh, that's fucking Daft Punk? The fucking Around the World people? What the fuck? So let's see,
my personal underrated song on this album is Digital Love.
Oh yeah. Digital Love has a ripping guitar solo in it that's so much fun to listen to.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
I don't know there's really a bad song. There isn't.
There's not.
No, this is one of the best albums to just ever exist, full stop.
Yeah.
It's a classic, and it's been a classic ever since most of us discovered it.
Even Night Vision being just an interlude thing is so cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing to cut, nothing to change, really.
Well, and Fred.
We've
done it, boys.
Okay, y'all think one more time is up there, but for me, the album hits its peak, and at the last 3 songs, it is the biggest build up and the best exhale. The Short Circuit is perfect, Face to Face is perfect, and Too Long just belts it out of the park completely to a stop.
Yeah.
The way Short Circuit changes mid song is so good. It is such a mood.
Well, I feel we also haven't talked too much about Interstella 555.
Yes.
Make sure I got the amount of 5s there. But
Yeah.
I love just how well done the plot is. There's no dialogue really for this.
Nope.
Nope.
There's a couple of words that get written down that you can read and stuff, which you can technically count as dialogue. I mean, Daft Punk has a cameo themselves in it where they're talking to each other by the words that appear in their mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the Grand.
something else.
At their version of the Grammys, where they're up against the Crescendos and the best music category.
Yeah.
Or is it Crescendos?
Yeah, it's Crescendos because it's based off the name of the song, Crescendos.
It's based off of the musical term crescendo.
Right. So wouldn't it be Crescendos?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way.
But it's such a very simple plot and so well executed.
Yes.
At that.
Yeah.
Of just having like these aliens, pretty much, or whatever they are, pretty much just get kidnapped, and it's kind of like a metaphor for the music industry.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Which is just so fucking cool.
I mean, you think about it, it's like, here's this group in their element doing their thing, and then they get taken over by the big corporate, music industry, and they're given everything that they sell their soul and act the way they want them to act. And it takes that one true fan to come and find them and free them from that.
Well, it didn't, from what I remember, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but from what I remember, they didn't really sell their soul. It's kind of just taken away from them.
Well, I mean, yeah, and this, yeah, they were abducted and they were given like a thing, like a microchip kind of thing that controlled their thoughts and moods, and they were just depressed the entire time.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest remembrance of theirs, from what they got, like, their true form is like this blue alien kind of thing, and then when they're taken over, they're made to look a bit more, more regular, I guess. It's kind of, I know this is the pretentious word to use here, but it's kind of like a symbolism of conformity there.
Yeah, and that's what Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger is in the music video. It's just their process of making them look human.
Well, pretty much every official music video is just a scene from Interstella 505. Like, that movie became the music video for this album, and that's just so fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone know the names?
There's not much albums out there where, well, I would say even 80% of their songs have music videos. And this is pretty much an album that every song has a music video.
Yeah.
Just because of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, and there are quite a number of albums that have like visual films, visual accompaniments. But I think
it's like visualizers and stuff like it. Yeah, but those are a bit different.
I mean, like Dirty Computer had like a whole short film. Like Solange has released like films for her albums and stuff. But I think this is like the big one. This is like the most famous one, perhaps. That isn't like a full rock opera kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's very ambitious to do, and if this album had failed, they would have spent quite a lot of money on that.
Well, I mean, it helps that the full thing came out like 2 years after the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they just did a few music videos at first, and then expanded it after it did well, I guess. But does everyone know the names of the band members?
It's been too long for that. Sorry.
Stella, Axel, Octave, and Beryl.
Not Axel.
Who's the guitar player? Here's the only one I forget.
Arpeggius.
Arpeggius.
And yes, Beryl, the one who looks like he's 12, is 20 years old and likes beer.
And horror movies.
And from Germany, in the Earthling biography.
Yeah.
Fucking Octave and Beryl. Oh, and the other guy who saves them.
Forgot his name as well.
Shep.
Now, is my memory hazy, or does he die saving them?
Oh, he dies.
Yeah, I thought he died saving them. I wanted to make sure I can remember enough of this movie here. I've seen it all. It's just been a while.
And then they're up against the Earl de Darkwood, who is the Darkwood Manor, where they find the ritual or whatever the fuck to make them human or whatever.
And then they're told that they had to do a show, and then they argue about it, and the manager says that now we got your soul, and then they had to go to hell and had to do a guitar battle against the devil to save their souls by doing the devil went down to wait. This is the storyline to Guitar Hero 3.
Oh, isn't this a story to like a Tenacious D thing?
It's Guitar Hero 3's actual storyline.
Oh, I played Guitar Hero 3. I don't remember the storyline.
Yeah, the manager turns out to be the devil. It's pretty fucking funny. But I feel like there was somewhat influenced by stories like this.
Oh yeah, like the whole thing is like a very nostalgic. It like I was reading, it talks about like how much they love movies and stuff as a kid, and tried to recreate the feel of like, discovering movies and music, and like that's why it's called Discovery. It's kind of like the joy of exploring that stuff.
What's the Daft Punk movie that they did? Discord of being dumb. Thanks, Tricks. They did one, and I've watched like 15 minutes of it, and it's just them driving around in a desert.
Daft Punk's Electronica.
Yeah, that one. It's so like we saw that it was on, and we started watching it, and we're just like, are Daft Punk just trolling us? Because there's like no music for the first 15 minutes.
I mean, it's something different. That's one they directed.
It was interesting, but it felt like Daft Punk was trolling us.
I mean, they directed Electronica. Interstella 5555 is directed by Katsuhisa Takenouchi, but like it was produced by Leiji Matsumoto, who is famous for being the Captain Harlock guy in this like for 70s anime. Who was Captain Harlock in?
Goodbye, Tricks. Well, it's also no surprise that this album was big enough in Japan for this to happen, because from what I hear, Japan actually has a very thriving electronic scene over there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Electronic fan base, especially when it comes to this style of music.
I think I'm good now.
Yeah, like Galaxy Express 9999 or 999. Yeah, just 999. Spaceship Battle Yamato, Space Pirate Captain Harlock, stuff like that. That's the stuff that they grew up on, Daft Punk.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere that France is like one of the biggest importers of manga, or something like that.
Not surprised.
Like I want to say it's like 1/3 of all total imports.
So Japan takes the house music from France, and France takes the manga from Japan.
Yeah.
That's the best trade in the history of trade deals ever.
It pretty much is.
I mean, I like the audacity of just asking him, "Hey, let's just collaborate and do a film." And they just went to their childhood hero basically, and let's do it.
Yeah.
Because I was also reading about how they really wanted to get people. I think it was like Todd Edwards and Romanthony they wanted on Homework, but they were not big enough at that point. So naturally, once Discovery comes around, that's when they're able to get them.
Yeah.
And holy shit, it's well deserved.
Words. People say words. We had an awkward silence. I'm just trying to think of them.
Discovery is so good. Interstella 5555 is so good. Yeah.
I will say, having listened to Alive 2007 a lot, or at least parts of it, it's hard to hear Superheroes on its own. Because I
haven't really listened to too much Alive 2007.
Because Superheroes in that playlist, they drop Human After All right in the middle of it, and it sounds so good together. Oh my god, like I really want that mix in my brain, but Superheroes on its own is great.
There's one kind of question I had about the movie as a whole. Did anybody notice that it was in like kind of like a higher frame rate than like normal anime?
I mean,
or was that just me?
Somewhat.
I mean, it might be in 30 frames, which is like standard video frame rate, not film frame rate.
I know that anime is like 12 or 15 frames per second.
Or maybe it's in 24 then. I don't know.
Yeah, and I noticed like there was some real smooth animations, and I'm like, huh.
I mean, I haven't watched enough anime to really compare. We could probably get a visual up.
That's just something I noticed.
I do think it's bold of them to like go with an older person in the anime scene, because Interstellar 5555 looks like an older thing. Like the character designs are are from an anime that's like 2 decades removed from the 2000s.
Yeah, it's 80s looking.
And that's like a huge risk because, you know, you got like Neon Genesis Evangelion, you got Full Metal Alchemist coming out around that time, you got, you know, all this other kind of newer looking stuff, and here's this old ass like classic kind of thing. It's a huge risk.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt. But you know, sometimes risk pays off, and this is one of the cases where it did.
definitely.
And again, I think that's thanks to like Toonami and stuff, and just like giving it to the right generation of kids, maybe who were just into like that techno futuristic stuff because that's all media was at the time.
Yeah.
So an interesting antidote. I don't know if I said that right. Just sort of like the impact of discovery and like the people it's influenced. I remember like a couple of years back from playing Counter-Strike, ended up playing with the members of a band called Mosquito Fall, which they're not big, but they have a little bit of a following. I've seen some of their CDs and in op shops and stuff like that. And like we were all just chatting. It's like it wasn't just me and him. It was a couple of like his friends and a couple of my friends as well. Like somehow the topic of discovery came out, and he went on about how it was the first album that he had ever actually like physically bought.
Well, that's cool.
And this is a person who's, you know, in a band and actually can sing. That's so far ahead of wherever I will ever be.
Yeah. I think it's also important, if we're talking about Daft Punk here, we should mention that we were planning on doing this episode before they broke up.
Yeah,
but
we were.
They did break up, and you know that's unfortunate for us.
Definitely.
I mean, they probably broke up years ago.
I mean, sure. I mean, I think it's like stuff like Random Access Memories, like outside of Discovery. Random Access Memories is such an important part of my life in that it came out like the week I graduated from high school, and so that whole era is like soaked in like some of those songs, and I'm always very grateful for that.
Yeah, that came out when I was just like right when I was getting out of middle school, going into high school.
That came out during year 9 for me. Good time.
Year 8.
Listen to that song. Listen to Get Lucky and Lose Yourself to Dance quite a lot.
Oh yeah, Lose Yourself to Dance, best song off that album.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Pharrell
also,
Williams is in the best song and the worst song of 2013.
yes, he was, and also the most inspid song of 2015. I think Happy came out that same year.
Yeah, it did. It's why Get Lucky didn't hit number 1 in US.
Of course it is. Get Lucky.
It hit number 2, and the song that was ahead of it all the time was Happy.
I mean,
Happy is such a bad fucking song.
I mean, imagine your life when like your 3 big songs are Get Lucky, Happy, and Blurred Lines.
I mean, Pharrell has had a bigger discography than just 2013. Though.
Oh yeah, but like that's such a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
His work with NERD, lets him excuse himself for 2013. Hell, even his work in 2013 allows him to excuse himself for 2013.
Also, is Daft Punk the originators of the whole "we're robots because of a thing that happened and now we're just doing this"? Or are they like the modern interpretation of that became popular after? Because I know like Twerp does it too.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are based off Daft Punk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
will
Daft
say
Punk
one of
was
my
first.
one of my favorite anecdotes about Daft Punk is when they had finished mixing Homework
Mhm.
and they were going to present it to a record label. Instead of playing it on the big reel-to-reel tape and like the good speakers, they put it on a cassette tape and played it through a shitty 80s boombox. And it was so good, even through that medium, that they're like, we're signing.
And I think the funny thing too is that like there was a chance that we never would have had Daft Punk had their previous band worked out.
Yeah.
Because they were in just like a rock band called Darlin with Lauren Brankovitz and Lauren Brankovitz is of Phoenix, of course. So they put out like a handful of songs, and those songs got on like some, mix CDs and whatever, mix records.
Well, a lot of people might forget about it because Phoenix didn't blow up until 2009, but they're pretty much contemporaries.
Yeah.
Especially around the 2001 time, because Phoenix was definitely quite inspired by a lot of house/disco on their early stuff. Even Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix like has some house influence on it. Like if you ever listen to like Love Like a Sunset Part 1, it's very much just a like build up track. There's no vocals and everything. It is quite repetitive, but it has like, I don't know, to me it's always had kind of housey vibe. And then if you ever listen to what was their debut called? The debut? I think it was their debut. The one with Too Young and if I ever
Untitled United?
Yeah, I think it's United. Like that album has strong kind of disco housey vibes on it as well, and it came out at the same time Discovery did.
Fair.
And it's weird because Phoenix didn't blow up till 2009, so a lot of people who aren't so big into either one of them, I might not realize that first. Oh wow, Daft Punk was there for a while as well. But these bands are pretty much contemporaries.
Well, Phoenix has such a different way of getting popularity. It came later, and like before that, even it was in like movies like Lost in Translation and stuff, and that's just like a very different crowd. I think.
The lead singer of Phoenix is literally married and has kids to the director of Lost in Translation.
Yes, Sofia Coppola, right?
And they started a relationship after Lost in Translation. And so she literally fangirled her way into a relationship, and I give her so much props for that.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, she also married Spike Jonze before that, so
yeah.
Spike Jonze being a prolific music video director, and like the fucking is he the guy who started Jackass? Yeah, producer of Jackass, director of Being John Malkovich, which is a fucking.
I feel like
career.
I haven't seen Being John Malkovich. Apparently, it's really worth watching.
It's interesting. It really is interesting. There's a special there's a special feature on the DVD which is very jackassy, where he attempts to give a video in his car. Like there's like a camera set up in his car, and he's gonna drive and give an interview. But he is just so sick that he just ends up like driving a block, getting out of the car, and just vomiting, and that's the clip.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
Like, all right, I can see where the fucking jackass aspect of that comes into play.
How many movies has Daft Punk appeared in there?
DJ Hero is in a movie. I was gonna say, should we count that, but it's not. Oh, also, I mispronounced the name of their the movie that they directed. It's Electroma.
Even cooler.
I was gonna say Electrorama, but that's not right either. It's Electroma.
Futura?
That one I haven't seen.
It's their third video. The first one was Daft, the story about dogs, androids, firemen, and tomatoes, which is just their.
That was a collection of music videos. Basically.
Yeah, but that's considered their first big like release.
Yeah.
Well, I'm out of things to say.
I mean, is Discovery the reason why they're on the Tron soundtrack? You think?
Huh. That's not really
I mean, Daft Punk had success before Discovery. I think they still would have been.
Sure. Maybe.
It's not like Homework is an album that only has one good song on it.
I mean, if it was the only album that was popular, maybe it'd be different.
If they only had Human After All, maybe they wouldn't be, but I think they still would be.
I've got to listen more to Human After All, but I do think critics were very harsh on it.
I think they're just harsh on it because it's comparing to Daft Punk.
Yeah.
It's not Daft Punk's best, but it's not a bad album.
Okay. Before we wrap up, like, let's talk. Like, what do y'all think are like this, like, for you, the strongest part of the album?
One More Time is the best song off this album, and that's just because One More Time is one of my favorite songs ever. It's probably my favorite house song. Although there's debates about that. There have been other songs that I really love. I love the shit out of Digital Love. I love Something About It. I love Something About Us as well. Even though that one's like very simple.
Yeah.
Like it's an outlier, but somehow outliers don't feel like outliers on this album. So.
Well, they're all such different songs. None of them are quite the same.
Yeah, I'd say definitely the top two though are Digital Love and One More Time. And yeah, Crescendos is up there.
Yeah, Crescendos is a banger.
What about you, Trix? What do you think is the strongest part of the album? More than just the song, if you have it.
The ending block from Something About Us to Too Long. Just I can't really describe it. It's just such a great tail end of an album.
I agree. Like I said, I think Short Circuit to Too Long is perfect. Putting those 3 songs back to back is just, it is like the best you can get in music. But if I had to pick a favorite song, I guess let's do top 5. Let's change it up and do top 5 if we can, because all the songs are great.
Yeah, this would be like picking a favorite kid.
I mean, if I I'll do a quick top 5. Face to Face is number 1. Short Circuit's up there. Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Night Vision, and I don't know, Superheroes.
I'm good. I like them all.
Yeah, it's like picking a favorite child.
Okay, but that's easier.
I guess I don't view this as quite the perfect album all the way through as I do like Aeroplane or something, but...
Now, Trix, tell me right now what would be harder. Picking a favorite song of Discovery, or picking your favorite kid between one that does the dishes and the other that draws on the walls?
Picking your favorite song of Discovery is going to be a lot harder.
No, you know what? No, fuck it. Pick one. Fucking pick one.
Ah, fuck you. Okay. Discovery is my child.
You also said One More Time is your favorite song, so fuck off.
Yeah, it is.
Crescendos is probably my favorite off the album.
Alright. I'll take that, thank you.
I know I'm basic with my love of One More Time, but like, fuck you, it's fantastic.
And no one said High Life, but High Life had its fans out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, High Life is good.
Plus, I get to love One More Time because I was blasting it a lot before Random Access Memories came out. So,
as was I.
Also, I'm gonna say,
so I'm not that basic. I'm only somewhat basic.
Instant Crush on that Random Access Memories is better than Get Lucky.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's
Get Lucky is actually one of like the weaker tracks off of.
Still up there.
It's still up there, but like comparatively.
But with Instant Crush, sometimes the best Stroke songs isn't even a Stroke song.
I just really love
Crush featuring Julian Casablancas.
I love Julian Casablancas so much. Like, he can just fucking show up somewhere.
Julian sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
Like, remember when he showed up from the Lonely Island and made their song amazing?
Yeah, I forget. I was just about to say that I forget the title of the song, but it was good.
Remember when he put out a Strokes album last year that turned out to be good?
The song was just called Boombox.
Yeah, that was right.
And it's one of the best songs on the album because his voice is so fucking good.
And it was just about like everybody having sex, basically, because he busts out a boombox.
It gets there. That's the build-up. It's like, you know, he's changing the world through throwing out a boombox, and then they take it to the old folks' home, and that's where the sex happens. Yeah. It was way too powerful.
What's your thoughts on the Voids?
Never listened to the Voids.
You're a fake Julian Casablancas fan.
I am.
Fake fan.
I'm not going to deny that.
I haven't really missed much. I've only listened to the last Voids. I think it was the last Voids album, the 2018 one. This was an alright album. I wasn't too big on it.
His father was a supermodel, which is interesting. John Casablancas.
That explains his good looks.
He's Spanish and
anyway,
Danish.
That's whilst we're on a Julian horny chat. let's wrap up the Daft Punk discovery. Let's go on to what we're gonna do next week.
Well, I'll go first since it's related. We've done the Avalanches. Now we've done Daft Punk. I'm going to take us now to our next duo French electronica band, and we're going to do Justice. We're doing Justice to Justice. And we're going to do, it's the 10th anniversary of their second album, Audio Video Disco. So we're going to do that. Audio Video Disco being probably the music, the album that got me into modern music more than anything else.
This album saved music.
And it's probably not going to live up to the importance I placed on it, but we're going to listen to it. Also, I don't know if every version still is like this, but the song Planosphere is a part of that album for me. It is the last track. It is like 18 minutes long. It was originally its own EP, but it is now a part of this album as far as I know. And then I'll just throw in the Civilization demo for the song Civilization, which is on some versions, and if you want to listen to it, why not?
I'll see what version's on my Spotify.
But Planosphere is on the Spotify version.
It is. There's two versions on. The version with the period has Planosphere.
Oh, of course, the period matters.
Yeah, period. Never ignore a period.
Yeah, because there's Audio Video Disco, no period. That one doesn't have Planosphere. Then there's Audio Video Disco with a period at the end of it, and that one's.
So we're gonna do that one.
Before Trix chooses their choice, which would be before I choose my choice, I got like 3 albums in mind. So just pick 1, 2, or 3.
1.
2. You both have to agree.
2.
You both choose 2? Okay, Trix, you go first.
I'm gonna be doing a Talking Heads album because why we haven't talked about Talking Heads because they're really good.
I only watched Stop Making Sense while stoned. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm gonna be doing Speaking in Tongues by the Talking Heads, so you can appreciate how good Talking Heads is.
Do I need to be stoned to listen to it?
No, you do not.
Can I be stoned to listen to it?
You can. I
Yeah.
mean, I heard it I was in a hippie bookstore and looking at science fiction and just
Which was
on.
Which was the song that was off Speaking in Tongues again?
Burning Down the House.
Yeah, that's the one.
This Must Be the Place. Those are the
Burning
two
Down the
ones.
House is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Burning Down the House. Hey.
Yep.
So I was originally going to choose some other albums, but I'm not going to be here next week. I'm going to be going at a Chats concert.
Ooh.
So you know what? Whilst I'm out there, I'll let you two experience the same thing. And it's an album that I plan to do last year. Actually, it's very kind of similar to the Adolescents.
Okay.
So I'm going to be picking the Chats High Risk Behavior.
Ooh, alright.
And how do you spell the chat? Is it just the Chats or?
Yeah, the Chats. Like it's based on a saying called "That's Chat."
You sure it's not the French word for cat?
They're a bunch of Queenslanders. I would be very surprised if they knew French.
Yep.
I was just making.
Unless they were in Cairns, because Cairns knows French.
All right, high risk behavior with a U.
Yep, because we know how to spell in this.
I'll put a spell on you.
Wait, how do you spell curb?
CURB.
Okay, good. It's not the UK spelling, which is fucking stupid.
What is the UK version?
KERB.
Curb?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have both in this country, but like we mostly use the CU.
This Chats cover reminds me of was it the Delinquents?
Yes, no, the Descendants.
Descendants.
Yeah, because you basically have like Mallow goes to college and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Descendants. Yeah, no, they're in a very similar sound style.
Okay.
Alright.
It's not. I don't expect the album to win or anything, but I figured, hey, if I'm off listening to the Chats, you two may as well.
Listen to the Chats. Burning down the house.
Plus, it's only a short album. I think it's only like 28 minutes, so.
You don't know Talking Heads, you can't do that.
I've heard Burning Down
So,
the House.
Oh yeah, is that the one Talking Head song you've heard?
Well, that and
He says,
This Is My Beautiful
Psycho
Wife.
Killer. Oh, that's a classic. First one I heard, and the only one I heard for a long time was Psycho Killer.
Oh, also, which version of the Speaking in Tongues are we doing?
The one that ends with "This must be the place." At the deluxe.
My brother probably has a copy of it somewhere, so I might just steal it from him. Because my brother had a huge phase of just nothing but Talking Heads, and that's why we watched Stop Making Sense While High. Because that was just a recommendation.
Like a good time.
Oh, it was a fantastic time.
There's two versions. I don't know which one. These both end in This Must Be the Place.
Is one a remaster?
One's like the cassette and for CD version. The other one's the LP and the early CD version, I guess.
That must be Spotify because I have no.
Well, it's an interesting thing about Talking Head CDs, just from what I've seen at record stores, and because they're quite big for audiophiles, there's a lot of CDs that you can buy that are just really high quality.
Mm-hmm.
They're also bloody expensive, but there's a shit ton. So Talking Head CDs got re-released all the time.
Doesn't surprise me.
And again, I found it because my brother's just into his CD shopping as much as I am. And when he went into Talking Heads phase, he was looking for like the rare EPs and stuff. Like he wasn't spending like hundreds of dollars on them. But like if he could find like a rare single for like $10, he would pick it up.
My friend's done that with the Beatles stuff.
Beatles ones can get pretty pricey if it's not the singles, but the albums get re-released too much, I think, for them to really matter.
Like I remember I once bought him a CD I found that was cut into the head of Ringo's Starr.
Oh,
that's
I
funny.
missed those single discs where they were just weird shapes.
I don't think this one was like meant to be cut like that though. I think someone just did it.
That's funny.
Because it didn't work. So
That is funny.
That's brilliant. So the actual disc itself was cut like Ringo Starr.
yes.
Yeah, because single CDs don't usually get cut like that.
I mean, maybe it was meant to be cut like that, but it didn't work. So we were very confused.
Well, I know with some of those weirdly shaped CDs, you have to put them on you can't like use a feed where like you feed them in. You have to put them on like a spindle CD player.
Okay. Maybe that was the issue. I don't know.
I know like the Donkey Kong soundtrack was in the shape of Diddy Kong's face.
We've got the power of technology. Ringo Starr shaped CD.
We have technology.
No, I think is it actually like just his face and like there's like a bit of white outline on it?
Probably, yeah.
That's an actual CD.
Wonderful.
I'll hold on. If this is the image, then no, I don't think someone's cut it. I think this is just a CD, which is still fucking funny.
Oh, yeah.
Posted it.
Something like that. It might have been a little bit different, but it was something like that, yeah.
If it's a little bit different, maybe it was cut. Because I think that's the official one.
That might have been it. It's been a few years, so I don't entirely remember, but that seems like it might be it.
And then there seems to also be this one. I don't know if this is legit. I don't know too much. I'm just looking on Google.
It might have been the first one.
Those are weird CDs, and they're like interview CDs.
Yeah, I think he had some of those too. Like, he once played for me something that was like John and Yoko addressing their fan club, and like high off their ass telling them about, saving the world and all that.
Oh wait, there's a Paul McCartney one as well. This is beautiful. When he's got the classic bowl haircut.
What are we on, like our third or fourth Paul McCartney now?
Whenever we do call Paul McCartney, we gotta do the album that has Temporary Secretary on it. I will not stand for anything less.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting into Wings.
Well, you're gone.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting into Wings.
This one is the most classic of all the CDs I've seen here that are shaped like somebody. And for those who can't see, it's like got the five members. It looks like this is Is this which one is this? I don't know whose address of, but the hole where the CD is in the
That's
guy's
George
eye.
Harrison.
Yes,
George Harrison.
that's wonderful.
That is hilarious.
And it's cut out so perfect. Like, they've cut around his ears.
Well, I know what our album art's gonna be.
Just a collection of weird Beatles CDs.
No, one of us cut like that.
I just love how the CD's holder is just on his left eye. It's like a really shitty monocle.
Yes. Trix, you cut out somebody's head, one of us to look something like that, and then I'll put it in as the album art. Or episode art.
Alright. I will do that.
Sold.
Now, I'm just wondering if there's one with John Lennon, but I don't know if it's a bit of poor taste to have a CD with a hole through John Lennon's head.
You think they'd think about that before they did it for everybody else?
Assuming these are all in the 60s.
There weren't CDs back then.
No, man. CDs weren't around till the 80s.
Yeah, they weren't around until after he died.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah, CDs in the beginning were considered inferior because the sound quality was different.
Well, yeah. Well, the Paul McCartney one is straight for the middle of his forehead, so that one's a bit. Ugh.
It's almost on the nose, if you know what I mean.
So yeah, here is one. It's one of the original ones that we shared. It's the whole set, and yeah, there is one that's got a hole through John Lennon's head. Yes, we got there.
To be fair, it is under the nose and above the mouth.
Yeah.
It is in the least offensive spot possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's starting to look like a bit of a Hitler stash to me.
The one for fucking Paul McCartney. A, the photo is just bad. B, like, someone just like
fat.
He just looks fat.
Bad. I hate it.
He just looks fat, like a walrus in that photo.
They're all atrocious. Just whoever did this needs to be fired.
No, they need a raise.
And like you could just like ram a rod through that fucking Paul McCartney one and just be like a Frankenstein monster.
What if we killed all the Beatles and then like the two remaining ones and use their parts to create one mega super Beatle?
I feel like that plot's already been pitched in Hollywood several times.
If anything,
and how come it hasn't been made yet, Domino? How come
no one is brave enough?
That I would watch that 5 times. It's just Frankenstein's monster. It's singing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" 10 times.
Casting Sean Penn as a washed-out goth rocker who goes on a Nazi hunting spree at the end of the movie was already like ballsy enough. Talking about
it's not that bad or a shocking idea to portray Sean Penn as washed up.
Ooh.
This is all for the movie This Must Be the Place, which is really just to give context for the song This Must Be the Place by the Talking Heads, I would imagine. They didn't need to go that hard.
But they did, and life is better with it.
I mean, Paolo Sorrentino is a great Italian filmmaker. That's probably why. But we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, we've gone on a huge rant here about how the Beatles should become a Frankenstein.
And I love every minute of it. This is the stuff I live for. Next week we're listening to the Talking Heads, Justice, and the Chats. What a combination.
Yeah.
And until then, we'll catch you next time.
I'm Dominic. You can catch me on Twitter at DACICHOCKI. I've written stuff in the past for tiltingwindmillstudios.com and other places. I'll be writing more soon. You can probably see it sooner or later.
I have been Riddleman. Trix is stealing my time. Trix.
You can go ahead.
Trix. Fuck you. Anyway, I've been Riddleman. You can catch me on my website, riddlemanforkids at github.io. I also have a YouTube channel. You don't need to watch that.
You don't want that good blue content?
I'm thinking about posting the sequel.
You
Blue
should
2.
you should post something so it can get on the algorithm like Trix did.
Yeah,
I should just post porn on YouTube.
I mean, you can find that really easily.
Oh yeah, if you search by new and you search up porn, you'll find it.
Oh yeah.
Guaranteed.
I once saw a video. It was just called "Good Morning," and someone said "Good morning," and then someone slapped a dick on her face. That was it. That was the whole video. It was 8 seconds. Fantastic video. I recommend watching it. Except it's got taken down because you're not allowed to have dicks on YouTube.
It's probably somewhere.
If they weren't allowed to have dicks on YouTube, the entire gaming community would be off YouTube in a minute.
Whew.
Anyway, Trix, plug your stuff, please.
I've been Trix. You can catch me on Twitter at procrastronaut_. That's like astronaut with an underscore at the end of it.
Yes, the procrastinating astronaut.
Channel where you can catch me doing weird bass stuff. And also catch us all at Dissonant Waves on Twitter and dissonantwaves.space.
All right, that'll do it for us, everybody. Have a great